the rest of the family. I read somewhere in my Bible, it said, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Just wait on morning to come. After a while, morning would be here. I'm so glad I'm going home on the morning train, evening train. Maybe too late. GATLIN got on the morning train. He couldn't wait till the evening train. I'm so glad. Yeah. A good soldier. GATLIN was a good soldier. The road would get rough. The gun would get tough. The hill would be high to climb, but he kept on. He kept right on. He kept right on climbing because he decided to make Jesus his choice. I'm glad I decided to make Jesus my choice. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? Do you know him? He's a friend of yours. A good soldier. How many of you are a good soldier? A good soldier will stay on the battlefield when it's raining and when it's cold, when it's storming. A good soldier will stay right there. I'm glad I am a soldier of the cross, follower of the Lamb. Good soldier. Deacon GATLIN talking, he walked it. I thought about, and I'm closing. That was time in the military. You can sometimes get a 3-day pass. You brothers have been in the military. Authorized 3-day pass. That means they authorize you to be off for 3 days. Then sometimes they would give you a furlough. And then there's sometimes when the roll was called, they say AWOL. That means absent without leave. Now that was time in those 36 years that Deacon GATLIN was here. He was AWOL. But he got close. You know, I saw him grow so much in wisdom in the Lord in these last 6 years. Amen. From 2004, when this building started to be erected. I don't know where he came from, but in my office in the other building, he saw me at work. And every day he would come around about the same time, and I better hush. Every day he would come around about the same time. He never did ask me, Pastor, what are you doing? Because as Patrick asked him when this building was complete, he said, GATLIN, can you see? GATLIN was standing over there and Patrick was up there. And Patrick asked GATLIN, said, can you see? He said, Pastor, I thought to tell Patrick, I got eyes, Patrick, I can see. He said, but Patrick wasn't talking about the natural eye. He was talking about the spiritual eye. What could I see what God have done for El Bethel? Now GATLIN, as I first stated, he would meet over there every day about the same time. My daughter was waking in the office with me doing some paperwork. And he never asked me what I was doing. But he saw what I was doing. And he said, Pastor, is there anything I can do to help you? He said, whatever you want me to do, say, I'll do it. And from that day forward, GATLIN started working with me. He never would do anything without my permission or without my approval. I would tell him, yes, Gatlin, do such thing. He said, well, how you want it done? I said, well, you know how to do it. He said, yeah, but how you want me to do it? He never stepped outside of the boundary line, amen, to something that he wasn't supposed to step into. But he was obedient. Not only was he a soldier, but he was obedient. He said, in order to make a good leader, you have to first of all be a good follower. He was a good follower. And if you are to make it in, all of you who are here today, you're going to have to learn to follow. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man can come to the Father but by me. And there are some requirements. Amen. If you want to follow Jesus to glory, there are some requirements. Amen. He said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. Gatlin, go on now. You don't have to worry about a house down here. He said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. If it was not so, I would have told you, I'm going away to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you may be also. That's all right, brother. Gatlin made preparation. He became a good follower. All right. And he was not a spectator, but he was a participator. If you are to be saved, I read a few minutes ago that he knew what his mission was, and that was to witness for Jesus Christ. How can you witness by not opening your mouth? Come on, y'all, help me now. How can you witness for Christ and never open your mouth? When they called for a witness on the stand, they had to open their mouth and speak. Am I right about it? Gatlin was a true witness for Christ. Wherever he went, a good soldier for Jesus Christ. As the choir sang, there may be someone who want to come to the Lord now. As the choir sang.